guys, this is a video from yesterday's Premier League games and also a little bit about the Burnley and West Brom game, which was today. I didn't personally see the game, but I will cover a little bit about Burnley and West Brom and who got the goals for West Brom and how I feel either club's doing at the moment. But anyway, getting straight into it, the first two games of yesterday were two games of yesterday were derbies. One being the Merseyside derby, obviously between Liverpool and Everton, and the other one being the North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham. Now, these are two games I would normally expect to be on Super Sunday. Very surprised to see it on a Saturday, because normally big games like that would be on the Sunday. But anyway, getting straight into it, our first game we're covering is Hull against Manchester City. Aguero would turn in to open the scoring for City after Zabaleta headed to put him through for 1-0. Dzeko would then smash a powerful effort into the top corner for 2-0. Looking pretty routine for Manchester City at this stage, but then Mangala would gift Hull away back into this game. A nothing ball into the box, which Mangala heads straight into the back of his own net. No chance for Caballero, real powerful header. Really, it looked like Company would have had the ball covered if Mangala had left it. He took up a good position, but that was 2-1. It was then to be 2-2 as Mangala would then give away a penalty, which Abel Hernandez made no mistake in dispatching for 2-2. Manchester City's lead was to be restored though, as Dzeko would make it 3-2, squeezing an effort just beyond McGregor. Then they would add a fourth after a great pass move which culminated in Zabaleta rolling the ball into the path of Lampard, who made no mistake in making it 4-2, and he really is looking a great sign. That's been his fourth goal for the club already. Really looking like that was a very good signing. So a good win there for Manchester City. Hull were only really in the game thanks to Ederson Mangala. Now he's only been at the club since the start of the season. He's only played a handful of games, so it's not fair to judge him yet. He's come with a big price tag on him, but I'm sure that he will be a success for the club. He's come with a quite high pedigree, and Manchester City were obviously desperate for him. But on to Manchester United v West Ham. Manchester United started this game very, very well. Raphael would cross in for Wayne Rooney to open the scoring to make it 1-0. Manchester United again with woeful defending, but it was unpunished with Enner Valencia, who was in the box and blazed over when really he should at least be making De Gea work there, but he didn't. Manchester United would then get a second through Robin van Persie after he was played through by Falcao, and then West Ham would capitalise on yet more poor defending with Manchester United when the ball is cannoned off the bar and Saka would head home the rebound for 2-1. Manchester United again would have been all in seat at the back. Manchester United would then go down to 10 men as Wayne Rooney blatantly kicked out at Stuart Downing. West Ham though could not find the equaliser in the game, despite pushing couldn't really get there. They did have a goal disallowed in the 89th minute from Kevin Nolan for what was said to be offside. Very tight decision. Still not particularly sure if it was a right decision, but Manchester United got the 3 points nonetheless, and they'll be delighted with that. But again, defence continues to be an issue for them. On to Chelsea and Aston Villa. Another tough game for Aston Villa. They had Arsenal last week, and that didn't end too well for them. And again, unfortunately, it was the same story today. Oscar would open the scoring for Chelsea to play through by Willian. And a kind of rare moment for Aston Villa, Delph took on a few Chelsea players, went past 2 or 3 of them, and hit a powerful effort, not far away from hitting the target anyway from long range. Diego Costa would finally add the second goal after having a personal duel with Brad Guzan. Brad Guzan seemed to be getting the better of him and making plenty of saves from. But Diego Costa was not to be denied, and he was played in by Azpilicueta to head home number 2. Chelsea would then add a third as Willian would score from 2 yards, in what would seal a very routine win for Chelsea. On to the Merseyside derby between Liverpool and Everton. Both teams had a very poor start to the season, with only 3 wins between them in the league this season. Barry would pick up a yellow card early on for the visitors. Then he was involved in more controversy as he appeared to handle the ball when the ball was going towards goal in the penalty area. Penalties should have been given in my opinion. He then committed a foul on Mario Balotelli, and Balotelli did some good work to go and win the ball back, and then he was fouled by Gareth Barry, but he was unpunished and didn't get a second bookable offence. Liverpool would eventually take the lead in this game. Steven Gerrard, a beautiful free kick, curled into the back of the net. Howard tried to get to it, he did get a hand on it, but it wasn't enough. That was 1-0 to Liverpool. Gerrard has been received heavy criticism of late at Liverpool, and he showed his doubters that he's still very much got it at the top level. Liverpool should have gone on to win from there, but they didn't. An unlikely hero for Everton would spoil the party for Liverpool. Phil Jagielka powered in a powerful effort right to the top corner. No chance for Simon Mignolet. The ball broke for Jagielka from about 25 yards. He smashed it to the back of the net, and that sealed the point for Everton. On to Queen's Park Rangers and Southampton. Southampton would open the scoring when a wonderful back heel played Bertrand in for the opener. Charlie Austin would then score the equaliser for QPR. He was played in, and on a 180 spin with the ball, he turns and smashed the ball into the net. A very good goal by Charlie Austin, and that would be the equaliser for QPR. Southampton would then retake the lead for an even better goal. Ball played into Pelea. He would take a touch, and then with a second touch, he scored a majestic scissor kick for 2-1, and Southampton would take the lead. QPR had a chance late on with Cranker when he hit the bar from a free kick. If that had gone in, then they could have rescued a point, but to be honest, Southampton were the better team and could have won by more. Now on to the North London derby. Chadley would open the scoring for Tottenham Hotspur. He missed an effort earlier on in the game where he should have scored, but he was to open the scoring late on. Arsenal were constantly denied in this game by Hugo Lloris, and it looked like at one stage Tottenham were maybe going to steal a victory here at the Emirates. But he was to be finally beaten as Oxlade-Chamberlain scored the goal, and Lloris, who really is a top keeper, was finally beaten, and Arsenal rescued a deserved point. On to Leicester City v Crystal Palace. In the first half there was few chances for either side, but the second half Crystal Palace took control. They opened the scoring from Fraser Campbell from a yard out, then Jedinak would head in the second after being crossed in from a free kick for 2-0, and it was a powerful header, real good header by Jedinak. Very good result for Crystal Palace. Was surprised that they beat Leicester City because they've been going quite steady so far. They've certainly looked the best of the newly promoted sides, and Warnock is doing a great job at Palace at the moment. There's no question. He's carried on the good work from Tony Pulis. Will they step this season? Who knows? But at the moment they're doing a solid job. Swansea played Sunderland as well. That was a bit of a washout. Not many chances for either side. Ended 0-0. And finally, West Brom beat Burnley today by 4-0. Berahino scored a brace to add to goals from Dawson and Dorrans. My opinion, I didn't see the game like I said. West Brom are going very steady under Alan Irvine. He's doing a solid job there. They're going quite well in the league. I think he is doing a good job. There's maybe people that would have tipped West Brom for relegation, but I don't see it, to be honest. Burnley manager Sean Dyche is finding it's really got an uphill battle, it has to be said. Burnley were never really expected to have been promoted to the Premier League, and for that was a tremendous achievement. And there's certainly not much expected from the league this season. There is obviously the thought that maybe they might beat Derby County's record points total, and when I mean record points, I mean the lowest points total in the Premier League history. He's got a real uphill task to keep them up, and Burnley have only scored once this season. That was actually against Chelsea. Things not looking good for them at the moment, has to be said. But all credit to Sean Dyche for taking the team up in the first place. Unfortunately, there is a trend when these fancy clubs come up and they don't do well in the Premier League that the chairman decides to get rid of the manager. I hope that's not the case, and I hope I'm not right. But that does seem to be the trend, because the guy that's labelled the Ginger Mourinho certainly did a terrific job in taking Burnley up, and it would be a shame if he was sacked, because he's probably the man, be the most equipped to take them back up. I feel anyone that could have that job at the moment would have a massive task to try and keep them in the Premier League. Okay, well that's it for this video. Like I said, this was brought out a lot quicker than the recent videos, and this is going to be the trend that I'm going to be following. Thank you for watching. Said if you want to subscribe, the subscribe button's down there. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook, I think, as well. And comments below as well. So any kind of videos you'd like to see, or anything that you thought I could have done better, then just let me know. Okay, thank you for watching.